I don't think it was actually named after Unchained. It was named after the guitarist. But I'm gonna fact check myself before I spread a bunch of. Oh yeah, it was Django Reinhardt. Okay. My name is Jeremy. I'm a software engineer at Meta, and I work in the integrity space. I'm a big advocate of learning about technology that's actually used in real life, and Django happens to be the most popular Python web framework. Django is a framework that lets you process HTTP requests from end users and eventually return back content back to them, say, for example, an HTML page. So Django is what powers this sort of interaction from the user requesting data or sending data to us processing the data and giving them back some more data. Django is actually the first web framework that I personally learned. I used it for hackathons in college as well as undergraduate research. And the reason that I used it is it's super lightweight and easy to spin up. Django comes with a bunch of tools already built in as first-class features inside of the framework. So what I mean by that is there's already a bunch of code that's within this framework to do things like interacting with a database or processing HTTP requests. So I would say the difference between a framework like Django and Flask is kind of a matter of preference. I would analyze what you need. Do you need something that's really lightweight that just takes an HTTP request and returns stuff out? And you don't need stuff like database management, then I would go with something like Flask. But if you want a lot of stuff for free, if you're trying to build, for example, a website that might interact with a database, and you're trying to do this really quickly to create a rapid prototype or minimum viable product, Django is a great candidate for that. Maybe one of the biggest challenges of Django is there is a learning curve to it. It comes with a lot of different tools built in. It requires you to learn what all of the different features of them mean. So one reason I'm a big advocate of learning Django is it kind of gives you exposure to what we call the full stack. That means you'll learn a lot about how to interact with a database, how to make front-end code that actually gets returned out to the user, so that's what they actually see, as well as writing, obviously, web server code, which kind of wires these two components together between your backend database and your front-end client. And the web server sits in between, meaning you'll get full exposure to how the entire software development cycle works. I would actually say the best way to get better at it is to learn by doing. That's why I'm a big proponent of having things like personal projects, even if the project itself isn't super useful to anybody. I myself have built a lot of useless projects out there just for the sake of learning different frameworks. For me, that's actually made me a much stronger developer over time. I'm a big advocate of coding alongside the course as you go. And the reason for that is things in software development tend to not stick very well if you passively watch. So if you do stuff interactively, so that's taking examples throughout this course, and actually trying to build them out alongside or doing your own personal project, I think that'll make your learning a lot more, sticky, but also more accelerated. I hope this has added some color on how Django is actually used in industry, and I wish you luck as you continue on your journey to becoming a more well-rounded software engineer.